Welcome to the Shift Your Story, Change Your Life podcast. I'm Allie Rose, certified clinical hypnotherapist and subconscious success coach. I help my clients stop self-sabotage and feel safe to create more wealth, worth, and wellness from within. If you find yourself stuck repeating the same unhelpful patterns in your life, health, business, or relationships, even after all the mindset work, this podcast is for you. Each week, you'll hear deep dives into the hidden beliefs shaping your life and live hypno coaching sessions where someone shifts a block in real time. Because willpower isn't the problem, your subconscious story is. And when you shift it at the root, everything else begins to change. So let's dive in. Hello. Welcome back to the Shift Your Story, Change Your Life podcast. Today, we're going to be diving into something that feels especially meaningful this week: how gratitude rewires your subconscious mind. Now, I'm not talking about the Pinterest quote version of gratitude, the just write 3 things that you're thankful for list, but the real science-backed, nervous system soothing, identity shifting kind of gratitude, and how it can reshape the way that you think, feel, choose, and show up in your life. And before we get into all of that, I just want to say I'm genuinely so grateful for you, for every single listen, every download, every message you send telling me how an episode hit home for you or helped you shift something in your own life. I don't take that lightly. This podcast has been my absolute favorite thing outside of working with clients that I have ever done in my entire business. And I am so thankful that it exists, and that in large part it exists because you continue to listen to it. So thank you so much for being here and for listening. So it's just me today, a solo episode. And if you are listening to this on the day that it drops, Thanksgiving in the US is tomorrow. So again, this feels like the perfect moment to really slow down and talk about how gratitude affects us on a subconscious level, why it's so much deeper than people realize, and how gratitude in the future can literally rewire who you're becoming. Let's dive in. All right. So, first up, I want to talk about how gratitude actually changes our neural pathways on a subconscious level. So, gratitude literally changes your brain. It teaches your brain a new way to think and respond. Now, most people don't realize this, but the subconscious is always wiring itself around whatever you repeat, emotionally, mentally, or physically. So, when you feel a moment of genuine gratitude, your brain releases chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, which tell your nervous system, this is safe, this feels good, pay attention. And our brains are wired to move away from pain and toward pleasure. So, over time, what happens is when you repeat and when you focus on things that you're grateful for, and those chemicals, those feel good chemicals get released, those signals actually carve out new neural pathways in your brain. So, instead of automatically scanning for threats, your brain starts noticing what feels supportive. So, true, genuine gratitude repeated over time trains your subconscious to shift from protection to openness. It's not just about positivity, it's about actually rewiring your brain. Now, I hear it all the time that gratitude can often feel very fluffy, very surface level, and that it can be challenging. So I just want to say to you, if gratitude feels hard for you, congratulations. Your brain is working exactly the way that it was designed to. Your mind is wired for survival, not happiness. It's designed to anticipate danger, not to notice the joyful and the beautiful things. And that's really primal. It's wired to keep us safe, right? So when you feel or if you feel resistance to gratitude, it's not because there's something wrong with you. It's actually biological. And if you grew up in chaos or unpredictability, or you had to stay very alert in childhood, that scanning for things that are unsafe, that becomes even sharper. So, for example, I worked with a client who had that chaotic upbringing. And the way that she described it to me is that she would walk into rooms, immediately assess the energy, the tone, who was upset, who needed something, all before she even knew that she was doing it. And it wasn't just because she loved negativity, it was her survival programming. And so feeling grateful and going into a state of gratitude, it was really hard for her. And so what I explained to her was that feeling gratitude doesn't erase that survival scan. It just brings in this other side of the truth that not everything is dangerous, not everything is bad, not everything needs your protection. So, gratitude is really a way of balancing our brains out. Now, like I said, there's a surface level layer of gratitude. It's more of an intellectual gratitude. It's the I'm grateful for my house, my kids, my job list. It's totally fine if that's how your gratitude starts out. But there's a deeper layer and a deeper level of gratitude. Deep gratitude is body based, it's somatic. You feel it. It's the type of gratitude that causes your shoulders to drop, your jaw to unclench, your stomach to soften, and your breath to slow down. And this is the type of gratitude that we want to get to. This is the type of gratitude that actually shifts things within your nervous system and starts to rewire those neural pathways in your brain. This is really where gratitude becomes magic. Your brain cannot tell the difference between something real and something that is vividly imagined. And you might be thinking, well, what do you mean? Or that sounds wild. That doesn't sound real. But if you think about anyone who has ever struggled with PTSD, it's the same mechanism. Someone can be fully safe in the present, but their body reacts to a memory as if it's happening right now. And so the same thing can be true when we practice gratitude. And one of the ways that I really like to practice this is with gratitude in the future. So, what that means is writing out things that you're grateful for as if they've already happened, things that you want in your life, things that you want to experience, writing them out as if they've already happened. So, instead of rehearsing danger, you're rehearsing safety, joy, possibility, expansion. So, what that can look like is if you want to focus on money, I am so happy and grateful that money finally feels steady and supportive. In your business, I am so happy and grateful that showing up feels easy and natural now. In your relationships, I am so happy and grateful that love feels mutual, safe, and easy to receive. In health, I am so happy and grateful that my body and I are finally on the same team. In parenting, I'm so happy and grateful that our home feels calmer because I'm no longer running on survival mode. Or I'm so happy and grateful that my home feels like a space that supports who I'm becoming. The important thing is not to just write these things, it's to allow yourself to actually feel what it would feel like to have those things, to experience those things. If you practice this, you will find that your nervous system will calm. It's like your body will be saying, okay, all right, yes, we know this. And obviously, the change doesn't happen overnight, just the same way that the negative thought patterns or the automatic survival patterns, they didn't happen overnight. Those pathways have been building in our lives for years and years and years. It's not going to change overnight. But if you are consistent with your gratitude practice, things will shift and change for you. Your subconscious starts believing that the future that you desire is already familiar and already safe. So, now I want to talk about why the subconscious responds so strongly to imagined emotions, even when nothing is actually happening in the present. And it's because emotion is the language of the subconscious mind. It's not logic, it's not reasoning, it's emotion. In a battle between emotion and logic, emotion will always win out. I want you to think about decisions that you've made in your life. You've probably made them from an emotional space in a lot of cases. And imagined emotions fire the exact same neural pathways as actual lived emotions. So I want you to think of a nightmare. You wake up sweating, your heart is racing, your breath is shallow, even though nothing happened. That is your subconscious mind responding to emotion, not reality. So when you imagine your future self, the calm one, the grounded one, the financially secure one, and you actually let yourself feel that gratitude in your body, your subconscious accepts it as real. And the beautiful part about that is that it starts rewiring your impulses, your beliefs, your habits to match that emotional version of you. And like I said, it doesn't happen overnight, but the more you practice it, the more that your mind starts to believe that it's true. Now, I want to talk about how future gratitude or gratitude in the future helps reduce fear of the unknown or fear of change. So, fear of the unknown is really just fear of unfamiliarity. Your subconscious associates new with danger, even if your old pattern is painful. But when you practice gratitude in the future, emotionally and somatically in your body, your nervous system becomes more familiar with that future. So, you're basically reducing the unknown part of the unknown. So, for example, when I transitioned my business in a big way, new programs, new offers, part of me was terrified. But every morning I practiced gratitude for the version of me who already made that leap, who already felt grounded and supported. And the fear didn't disappear overnight, but it quieted. And it felt less like I was jumping off a cliff and more like stepping into a familiar space, a familiar room that I'd been in before. And so, future gratitude or gratitude in the future removes that shock of change. Your body goes, "Oh, this isn't so scary. I've been here before," because it's been practicing being there in your mind. So, as we wrap up this conversation, here's what I really want you to take away: gratitude in the present and gratitude in the future, they serve two different but equally important purposes. Present gratitude regulates your nervous system and it helps your body feel safe now. It anchors you in the moment. It pulls you out of survival mode. It interrupts fear loops and it teaches your subconscious that not every moment requires protection. It softens you and it widens your window of tolerance in the present moment. Gratitude in the future, that is what expands you. That is what shifts your identity. It gives your subconscious a lived emotional rehearsal of the person that you are becoming. It helps your body feel less afraid, change, less afraid of the unknown, and more aligned with the direction that you actually want to grow in. So, present gratitude stabilizes your system, future gratitude stretches and expands it. It really does expand that window of tolerance. One really helps you feel grounded and anchored, and the other helps you evolve beyond where you are now. Both are essential if you want to create real, sustainable, subconscious change. And if there's one thing that I want you to remember from this episode, it's this. I want to make this really practical and really honest because many people force gratitude in a way that feels fake, and that's not what we want. So let's start with present gratitude. Present gratitude isn't about pretending everything's amazing. It's about catching the moments that help your nervous system feel more grounded. For me, present gratitude often shows up in the smallest ways, even when the day is feeling messy. Moments like when I'm irritated and overwhelmed, and my dog comes and gives me a little kiss on the face. It's like he's saying, "Hey, you're okay." Or when I'm spiraling about my next steps and I take a sip of my tea and it just tastes so good. These aren't highlight moments, they're grounding moments. And grounding is what your subconscious rewires from. So, present gratitude is the stuff that really pulls you back into your body. Now, future gratitude is different. It's the part of me that writes things in my journal that I have no evidence for yet. The things that maybe I don't fully believe, but I desperately want to. It's the versions of me that I'm not living yet, but I'm learning to trust that that version of me already exists. And I have journals and journals and journals full of gratitude in the future from years ago. And there were times when I wrote those things with tears running down my face because I didn't feel anything close to them in the present. But here is the wild thing. I can open journals from 2, 3, 4 years ago and see page after page of things that I was grateful for in advance that I'm actually living so many of them right now. And it's not because I forced those things to happen, but it was because future gratitude helped my subconscious normalize the version of me that I was becoming long before she arrived in my life. So, if you want to start, I want to encourage you to pick one real moment from today, something small that you can actually feel grateful for in your body. And then I want you to pick one thing from your future, something hopeful, something you want. And I want you to give yourself permission to feel grateful for the version of you who has it. One is for safety, one is for expansion. All right. I hope that this was helpful. I hope it was helpful to talk about gratitude from the perspective of the subconscious mind and not just surface level gratitude, how it actually changes and rewires your brain, and how you can use present gratitude to anchor you and ground you, and how you can use gratitude in the future to expand you and stretch you beyond your current reality, beyond where you are now, into the life and the future that you want for yourself. Before we go, I just want to say this again. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for letting me be a small part of your healing, your growth, your story. I know you have a million things pulling on your time and attention. And the fact that you're here, choosing yourself, choosing your healing, choosing your future, it means so much, truly. And if today's conversation stirred something in you, maybe you realized how often you live in survival mode or how hard it is for you to feel grateful in the present or even how disconnected you feel from the future you want. I would love to support you more deeply. Head to shiftyourstorypodcast.com where you can schedule a connection call or send me a message on Facebook or Instagram. I'd love to hear where you are, what you're working through, and how I might be able to walk alongside you as you shift your subconscious patterns and become the version of you that you've been waiting for. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Thank you for doing this work. Thank you for letting me into your world every week. I am so, so grateful for you. And I'm sending you so much love and gratitude. Until next time. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us today for this episode of the Shift Your Story, Change Your Life podcast. If today's conversation sparked something in you, I'd love to hear about it. Feel free to send me a message on social media. I'm at the Allie Rose on both Facebook and Instagram. And if you want to be coached on a future episode or explore what it would look like to work with me one-on-one, head over to shiftyourstorypodcast.com. And if you never want to miss an episode, make sure to subscribe and leave a rating and review. It helps more people find this work. Until next time, keep shifting, keep growing, and most importantly, I want you to remember that your story isn't set in stone. You always have the power to shift it.